Little flare, center field, diving, catching, out!
5-4-3 around the horn from the seat.
And he hits a high drive to deep left field, down towards the pole. That ball is up and it is gone!
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Yuba Sutter Sports Update Show, sponsored by the Yuba Sutter Freebirds. Freebirds baseball just around the corner, and I mean just around the corner here. May 19th is opening night, and the Freebirds are going to get things going. Joining me here is Bob Fischetti, chief cook and bottle washer of 93Q, as well as coordinator extraordinaire, and I have it on good authority, he also plays a mean guitar. What do you think there?
Hey, listen, I have to tell you this. I've been for months thinking about the name change, Freebirds.
Yes.
And because they didn't accept the name I came up with.
Which was?
Free Fish. And so, I don't know what happened. Come on, Free Fish?
The Free Fish?
Have you seen the movie Christmas with the Cranks?
Yes.
Free Frosty?
Okay.
Come on, Free Frosty, Free Fish, Free Bird.
Free Willy?
Free Willy?
Yes.
Look at all the freedom we got.
I know. That would be awesome, but Free Fish, that would, free fish at Fischetti Cove in Ellis Lake.
Yeah, they'll all be thinking that the dugout diner is serving something new and it doesn't cost you anything.
That is awesome. I did not know that your suggestion was Free Fish.
Oh, I make suggestions all the time. It doesn't mean anybody will grab hold of it. But.
Well, that's my line. What is it? How are you doing? I can't complain. Nobody listens to me when I do. I make suggestions. Nobody listens to me when I do. That's just the way that it is.
It's almost the Rodney Dangerfield. I
get no respect. No respect at all. Yeah. We mentioned Rodney Dangerfield, of course, our crack. Producer, engineer extraordinaire behind the mic. You say Rodney Dangerfield. Who?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Who? Mason, do you know
going over my head right now.
Is that the Homer? It's just way Homer. It's. So we were going over a little bit of the schedule, and I was just taking a look at the Freebirds promotional schedule that we have coming up, and they have gone all out.
Oh.
I mean, all out in terms of it's not just about baseball. I mean, baseball's the draw, and you and I are in sync with each other. Love baseball, but there's so much other stuff that's going on in the ballpark, and let's just start with this to reassure the fans: fireworks are going to be a thing this year.
Yeah.
Fireworks are going to be a thing. What do we got here? May 29th, June 12th, May 29th, June 12th, July 24th, August 7th, August 14th. We got those dates preliminarily for fireworks night, so come on out and enjoy that with the family. That's always a draw. And these aren't the cheapy little fireworks. We had fireworks one night a couple years past, and it was a stone's throw above what you'd buy at the local thing, the block party, where somebody's out there with a punk and a lighter lighting these things. No, these are
12 kids running the bases with sparklers.
With sparklers, it's got to be more. This is more than that. No, these are awesome fireworks. The shows that we have here coming up. Really looking forward to that.
They are amazing. I was just talking to Harrison. He will be on next week with Celeste, who does the partnerships with different businesses in town. And he's going to meet with me next week because they are already, all the promotions, they're unwinding quickly. And so we're going to meet so that he can help me understand what not to say on the radio. They'll be releasing stuff that, isn't solidified. But, I'm a lot like, I get excited. If I even get wind something's happening, I'm like, oh, let's go. Come on. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. You should have seen me when that big train come in town.
Yes.
I was like a kid. I'm telling you, I'd have climbed on board. I almost begged them, just let me ride. I didn't even have a way back. I'd have got to Lincoln and had to call somebody.
Well,
but I'd have rode that train.
Interestingly enough, so it was that was Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. Thursday was the day. So for my day job, I work down in Rockland, and I was driving from the court back to my office, and I drive right along where the railroad tracks are, and there are cars lined up, and I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? And people got their cameras out and tripods. And this would have been about 4:30 in the afternoon. They were waiting for the train. Yeah. And then I hear about that. I do all that, and I get home later on, and I immediately fire up my computer, go to Facebook, because I'm always checking the 93Q page, and I'll be danged if there I don't see Bob Fischetti doing it, standing right there on the railroad tracks talking about the train. And, I was knee deep and stuff. I didn't get a chance to see it live down in Rockland, but I was able to see your video feed of that, and that was an awesome looking train. It was huge.
Oh, it's the largest steam engine in America, and this is the beginning of its route. It'll go across America. It's all about the 250th anniversary of our nation.
That is awesome.
And I'm standing there with a guy, and he says, we're looking at this monster, this train is, and he goes, you realize everything on that train was hand-built at that time.
Wow.
And I'm looking at these
I did not
big steel wheels and stuff. Well, you don't think about it.
Yeah,
you just think, they used one of those 3D printers. And it's like, no, I don't think those wheels were done on a 3D printer, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
The engine is so long. And then they had one of their diesels, that is the Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
And then they had different cars that were named after different people. And on the very last car, it's like something from the movies, because they're out of their heritage collection. So it has the railing, the round railing, where politicians would speak off the back. And the last time a whistle stop was done here, it was John Kennedy speaking off the back of that train.
Really?
In the 60s, yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I didn't mean that, It just, you see stuff like that and you get excited. Okay, that's how I am about baseball.
Yeah.
That's how I am. The first time I was standing downstairs before the announcing and heard that first pitch hit the glove, and I went, this is pro ball.
Yeah.
And so this year, I'm so excited, Todd, because you know how they said, hey, we practiced, we try out stuff in the Pioneer League for Major League Baseball. So I'm watching a baseball game, the Giants and somebody, and they're challenging.
Yeah, they're tapping their head to challenge.
And I went, the challenge is in pro ball. So I just, come on.
But here's the thing, and I'm glad you talked about that, because in Major League Baseball and in any other baseball in the Pioneer League, to challenge, you get a certain number of challenges to get the pitch track, and the catcher has to, tap their helmet, and you get like 3 per game in every venue except for home games at Bryant Field, because they announced this, I think last week, at least last week or the week before. At Bryant Field, every pitch is done by pitch track. The strike zone, the balls and strikes will be called by pitch track. You don't have to challenge. You get the benefit of it, and they're going to put the strike zone and the pitch up there in that scoreboard over in right field. So it's just another thing, and this is something that Harrison talked about when he was on previous, and I know he's going to talk about it next week, is the never-ending effort to get the fans engaged in the game. We have this at Bryant Field. You'll notice this. The press box, we're going to have our recliners. We're kind of far away. We're probably, as far as press boxes go, further away than any other press boxes from the action. But if you're here to watch the game, you're actually closer to home plate than any other field.
Yeah.
I mean, you are right there.
That's why you don't see a lot of running on pass balls.
That's right.
At Bryant Field, because even if it passes, it'll bounce off the back, and the guy will have. I mean, there's no it's like 100 feet from the catcher. That's not happening.
I've seen
it's
guys
within 15 feet.
Yeah, I've seen guys play the ricochet. The guy on third base thinks, oh, my gosh, it's a pass ball. I'm going to take off. The catcher turns around, plays the ricochet, gets the ball back, and they're out by 10 feet. You know, the catcher's almost going, come on, you got a little bit further. I'm going to tag you, but just come along, come along. And so it's going to be fun there. You're able to get right up on it. You're going to be able to see the balls and strikes, the calls out there. I think that'll probably speed up a little bit of the game in terms of balls and strikes and not having to challenge, and it takes the ambiguity out of it. You don't have I know that I'll tell you, one of the things that amazes me when they started this automated strike zone, and even the video feed in Major League Baseball where you have that little rectangle.
I love that thing.
And if you think about it, we really don't give our umpires enough credit for how attuned, especially a Major League Baseball umpire, for how attuned their eye has to be to the strike zone. Because here, you got a ball coming in anywhere from 85, on average, anywhere from 85 to 100 miles an hour coming in. And you got a guy sitting there behind the plate that can consistently, and look, even if they're only accurate 95% of the time, that's consistent enough for me, that consistently can tell you if something is a ball or a strike by inches.
Yeah.
That's a little too low. It was low by about an inch. It was too low. It's in the strike zone. It's amazing that you got human beings that can do that.
Well, I was always amazed because they used to say, before they had that little electronic box, they would always say that a given umpire, and they got used to the different umpires, and they would say, he has a little larger strike zone.
Yeah.
And so there was, it was kind of the first couple of batters, unless you knew what was coming from that umpire, you were like, you had to figure out what he called the strike zone, right? And so now those days are gone. Right?
Yeah,
so it's preset. And so we'll be having that here, as well as some new cameras that do AI follow the ball. I mean, just come on, this is pro. This is awesome.
It's going to be an awesome season with all of this, with the technology and what we've got here following the game. But again, we've got the promotions that are going on, like our first fireworks night, right? The first fireworks night we have is actually going to be in connection with Sikh Heritage Night. And so we have the Spirit of Siva night. That is Friday, May the 29th, and that is also going to be a fireworks show at the conclusion of the game. So we've got that there. May 31st, I'm looking forward to this one. May 31st is Future Freebirds night, where the Little League teams will be invited out, and they can do the pregame parade and take care of all those on-field moments and stuff. We get to cheer on the local kids. Love it when they come out and they're wearing their uniforms from Little League. That's just awesome, because that's what it's all about, is getting those kids really, I don't want to use the term indoctrinated, but getting them into baseball.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, good. As long as we're on the same page there. Let's see, June 13th. June 13th. All you dog lovers out there, we're calling it Bark in the Park. Bring your canine friends out for an evening at the ballpark. I keep thinking somebody's going to bring a cat out there and just see what all the dogs do. That would be hilarious.
I'm bringing my grand dog up in the booth.
Oh, really?
Come on.
What kind of what breed is the dog?
It's called a neurotic. It's a dachshund.
Neurotic.
My son and daughter-in-law are going to be going, I can't believe that you did that to Coco on air. You labeled her neurotic. She is biting your ankles next time you come over.
July 21st. This is one that I'm really looking forward to also.
So we don't have a game, real quick, we don't have a game on July 4th.
July 4th, do we?
Because that's the 250th anniversary.
That is right. That is what we've got here. So
I had the schedule with me. I don't know what I did with it.
Wait, I think we do have a game on July 4th. Let me look here. Saturday, July 4th, Independence Day Classic. Celebrate the 4th of July at the ballpark with an early start time classic matchup, and actually going to have a drone show. There's no fireworks after that because they're not competing with what's going on over in the river bottoms. So we've got that there. But we've got, what day was that here? July 21st, Comedy Night. Now,
has it got anything to do with the press box?
So professional comedian Joe List, he'll come out and he's going to join folks and partake in the festivities and stuff. So we have a
great
comic coming out there. There's so many that we have there. So the first night, that's the first fireworks night, is what did I call it? What did they call it there? It is the Spirit of Siva, the Sikh Heritage Night. And then later on, they've got another Faith Night Part 2. That's over on August 7th. So that's another Faith Night that we have coming out here. And if you want to know more about the events that they have up, they have so many going on. You got to go to freebirdsbaseball.com, come down to schedule, and you can see that they have schedule. You come right down to the promo schedule and see everything that's going on out at the ballpark. Harrison and Jackson and Celeste and everybody in the front office have been burning the candle at both ends and in the middle. They have a lot planned. It's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah, and I just want to say that it's Freebirds, plural.
Yes.
Freebirdsbaseball.com. And so once you get there, everything is on their webpage. It's very well done. Their webpage is easy to find stuff. So also there's some other things on there that we want to talk about. And one of them is host families. They are still looking, because it's still early, for families that would host a ball player.
Yeah, so get over to freebirdsbaseball.com. You're going to look for the general information tab. Click on that. Drop-down menu comes up, and you want to come down to host families. And again, what do they need? What do you need for a host family? You need a bedroom with bathroom access, a house key with a garage or a garage door opener, so doesn't do much good to have a host family and then you don't let them have access to the house.
Yeah,
there's always a.
It's a bummer to get up in the morning and they're sleeping on the lawn.
Interesting anecdote about that. So lately, for some reason, I've been getting up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, can't sleep, so I just go out for a run. 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I go out for a run. It's been freaking our producer out. He's also my son.
You're a sick man.
So I'll go out for a 2-3 mile run.
You make him run with you?
No.
Oh,
He follows me on the Find Friends app, and he knows I go because we have a Ring camera. When I walk out, it signals that I have left.
Yeah.
But I'm out there, and I'm almost done with the run, coming back in the neighborhood, live in South Yuba City, coming back through the neighborhood, and I hear this, and I'm thinking somebody let their dog out. And it kind of freaked me out. I looked to my right, and it was not a dog. It was some dude just decided to pass out and sleep on the front lawn of this house, and then he saw me walk by, and I was at a walk at that time. My run became a sprint, and have you ever heard of that high-intensity interval training? Yeah, I got that right then and there, and sprinted home. But yeah, somebody was right there, but not a ball player, so it was good to go.
Yeah. Well, the summer, it's so nice. I don't have a problem sleeping on my deck or something.
Yeah.
I haven't done it, but I've thought about it. It's like, and then I get in bed and think, nah, this is more comfortable.
I don't know.
There's something about outside.
It was about a month ago, and again, I just felt cooped up in the house, so I went out into the backyard and on the little deck chair and reclined and went to sleep. And again, our producer may have heard me snoring.
Yeah, I go out there because we get our water from the garage, and I hear from the outside. I didn't want to wake him up, so I just kind of left him out there and locked the door too, of course.
The door.
Yes, that has happened a couple of times where I've been locked out and locked out of the house. I'm in my underwear in the backyard.
Oh, great!
Hey, can you let me in? But back to the host families, yes, give them a key so they don't get locked out. And then what do you get in return? Well, in addition to having the relationship with the ball player, and we've talked about this in the past, those are lifelong relationships. They're guys that go on to the pros. I've heard stories and met people that where the ball player that they hosted here went on to play professional baseball. When the team came back to play the Giants, he had his host family from 10 years before come on down, got him tickets to the game. They went to dinner and had a great time. And that's just a relationship that you can build. But in addition to, for every ball player that you host, you get 2 season tickets. And if you love baseball, that's a good trade. You know, they're there for the entirety from May until the end of the season in September. But remember, they're also on the road half the time. So, you know, you take that in consideration, but it's a pretty good deal if you have the space to have a ball player come in, and they certainly need the assistance for the host families.
You know, I do want to mention this. We will be giving away some little AM, FM radios, transistor radios, because when you're in the ballpark, you can hear the stadium announcer, but the play-by-play you can't hear. And so, you know, I think I gave away, you know, over a dozen of these little radios, little 93Q radios, and people loved them, and it made me realize, wow, that's like they can sit and listen to that. Well, what was funny was if I gave them to a young kid, because they were like, what is this?
What does
this do? And so they had to figure it out, and then they had to get an earpiece because they liked the idea of it being plugged in and they can hear it. But yeah, and so just so you know, they are going to do some over by the snack bar. They will have it set up with TV, and they'll also have it set up with radio. You'll hear the play-by-play when you get down to the snack bar. But within the stadium, you have the stadium announcer doing the walk-up music and announcing what player is going to play. And but that subtle tone.
The smooth stylings.
The smooth style of Todd Kuhnen. You're only going to get on the radio.
Yeah.
So, but that's there's so many improvements. I'm going to try to get out this week and get a video going. We'll get that up at 93Q TV because it's not the same. It's not. It was really great last year with all the improvements. I've been talking to Harrison. They've got so many more improvements that they've done.
I got to get out there to see that, out to the field. I'm looking forward to getting out there, and you know, maybe I'll see if I can weasel my way in to go over with you when you go over next week. But that because I just want to see all of the improvements and everything they got going. And to your point about the transistor radio, now if you think, well, you know what, 93Q just has their live feed on if you can go online, go on 93qradio.com, and I can listen to it there. Well, if you did it that way, you're going to have, about a 45-second delay between what you're seeing, and it takes time for everything to go up to the satellite, get the internet, come through, and you can hear it. But if you have that transistor radio, there's almost no delay at all. If there is a delay, it's less than a quarter second. So you're hearing everything in real time. Yeah,
and I think what's important about that is, you know, I always, as a kid, you know, I love seeing a game on TV, right? I did. But I also liked hearing it on radio. Yeah. You know, and so here you have an opportunity to actually be at the game and hear the play-by-play, which there's two guys, and I can never remember their names. They do the games for the San Francisco Giants.
Kuhnen.
Yes. Yeah. And those guys, sometimes, you know, they're very redundant, very mellow, but they'll hit a lick. You can they're really good, really excellent at doing that. And I grew up with that kind of announcers. And
now shout out to
Kuhnen is right up there with them.
Oh, you are too kind. And shout out to Rob McMain. He would admit that you know, they are hilarious. They probably don't talk about Star Wars as much as we do.
Yeah, right? Probably
because let me tell you, when you tune into a radio broadcast that we do, it's not just baseball. You're going to possibly be redirected to pop culture, trivia, all worked into the context of the game.
And then also, we're going to be telling you what's going on in the stands. Because we're up there, we can see everything. We can, Todd's always mentioning that when there is a foul ball, there is a tribe of young enthusiasts. They chase after that ball. I mean, I don't know what a baseball cost. Yeah. But to these young boys and girls, they think it's made out of gold because they're chasing it down. They haven't yet started diving into the cove.
Not yet. Not yet. I mean, it's like Lord of the Flies rules, you know. Who has the conch? It's my baseball. I'm going after it. But here's my philosophy for play-by-play, right? It's nobody is going to be filling out their fantasy league stat roster and everything based upon what I say. My job as a play-by-play announcer is to tell the story of the baseball experience. Yep. And sometimes that also includes describing what you see in the stands, what you see over to the right where you've got somebody sitting on the top of the dugout with their back to the ball game and talking to the people in front of them like they're having some HR meeting at corporate, and I'm going to narrate that. I'm sorry, I am going to narrate that. You know, one year we had a couple of geese. It's about 7:30 in the evening. The geese take off. The geese take off from Ellis Lake, and they'll come over and do a flyby over the field. And they starting from the first baseline, and they go out and usually just continue to go straight over the left field wall. Well, one night they did that, and two geese veered off to the right like they were going to go over the right field wall, and they weren't paying attention, and they ran into the netting.
No.
They ran into the netting, kind of fluttered down, and ended up on the right field grass just walking around. Just walking around. Now, I could not resist for the next 2 innings narrating what I imagined the conversation was between the two geese. Well, you know, Harold, we got lost again, and you won't ask for directions, so now we have to walk around and look, it's just the way that it was. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is pro ball, but right here in your neighborhood.
Absolutely.
This is great stuff.
Absolutely, and so come on out to take in the games. Bring your transistor radio. You can listen to the games. Consider being a host family.
Yes,
and we can take care of all of that and be right there with you and welcome you into the Freebirds family as a participant in everything that we do.
I do want to mention ticket sales, only from the standpoint of always, I don't care what team has been here, there's always a preseason, if you buy the tickets, it's cheaper. Well, being a host family, you get a set of tickets free. And so either way, though, be thinking now, we are like 40 days away. I mean, we are really close.
Opening night is May 19th. And so for those of you that were fans of the ball club last year, opening night is May 19th. The team that's going to be in town is the Long Beach Coast. Yes, that is a team that does not have an S as the last letter in their name, like the Freebirds, the Giants. It's the Long Beach Coast. And for those that were fans of the High Wheelers last year, a couple of ball players that played for the High Wheelers are now playing for the Coast. Brett Wozniak, Cuba Bess, they're playing for the Coast. So feel free to come on out and say hello, but heckle the snot out of when they're pitching or at the plate. I mean, that's part and parcel for what we do.
Do you remember The Day the Music Died, the song?
Yes.
And there's a line in there, the three men I admired most took the last train for the coast.
For the Long Beach Coast.
Two of the players I admired most somehow ended up playing for the Coast.
Yes.
But that's really good. Hey, and we'll cheer him on.
Oh, yeah.
Unless, Wozniak strikes out 3 in a row, and then he's getting no cheers from the booth.
And I have it on good authority, if Wozniak's out there, that he really loves to be referred to as the Wizard of Woz.
And we will accommodate him.
He's going to find me in a back alley with a lead pipe.
Yeah.
But, Bob, I want to talk a little bit about, we're covering Freebirds baseball, but we also have local baseball going on with our high school ball players. And we had last week off because of Good Friday. We ended up taking that. So we have a little bit of catching up to do with what's gone on locally over the last 2 weeks. And some teams have really poured it on. Some teams have stumbled a little bit. In the stumble category, Marysville High School, they've had a bit of a rough go of it over the last couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago when we were here, they were in second place. and they've dropped down to 6th place.
Wow.
In the league. Wheatland, conversely, has moved from 4th up to 2nd place. Wheatland's riding a 2-game winning streak. They are 6-2 in league play. They were 2-2 2 weeks ago. They're 13-6 overall. The Marysville 2 weeks ago was 2-0 in league play. They're now 2-4. They've lost all 4 of their league games. They have a 1-game losing streak. So it's been kind of tough. But, you say that, and then you look at what do we have here? You look at how their individual players are doing. So statistically, the ball players are doing pretty well. They're just having a hard time putting it together to have that translate to team wins. And what I mean by that is you take a look at, I got to find out where I had my Marysville stat leaders here. I mean, I'll give you an example. So Lyndhurst High School. Lyndhurst High School they're scuffling. They've only won 1 game all year. They are 1-14 overall. They're 0-8 in league play. But they have some ball players that can absolutely knock the cover off the ball. Gabe Jara. Okay, Gabe Jara plays first base, and I don't know if he was injured or what. He doesn't have as many plate appearances as other folks do. He's got 18 plate appearances on the year. He's batting .706.
Wow.
706. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Jared Oseguera hitting .438. Then you've got Sonny Daniel hitting .391. Emiliano Zermano hitting .391. Now, those two are both hitting .391, but Daniel is down to .391, whereas Zermano is up to .391. They're kind of going in opposite directions there in terms of trajectory. Joel Gonzalez hitting .375. Sergio Castro hitting .225. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ball players on a team that's only won 1 game, but 6 ball players that are in the top 50 in batting average for the Sierra Delta League. So it's all about getting it together so that you can win the ball games. But those are talented ball players. They are absolutely tattooing the ball over there in Lyndhurst.
Everybody loves the sluggers, and they love it when hey, home run's home run, right?
Oh yeah,
and great plays. But if your pitching staff and your defense can't keep the other team's runs down, it's baseball. It takes both defense and offense, and so. But I don't care what anybody says. It's great. Even I love the Cardinals. I'm a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
So even if they lose, but there's a few home runs in there, I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But you still love it. Great plays.
So I was setting up Marysville, right? Talking about Marysville. Now they're struggling, and Wheatland's really coming on. They're doing great. Listen to these stats. Between the 2 ball clubs, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 ball players in the top 50 just between those 2 ball clubs. But for Wheatland, Brody Maleka is hitting .417. Ezekiel Gutierrez hitting .404. Those 2 are in the top 6 in the league in terms of batting average. Then you've got Kale Nakamura over there in Wheatland hitting .362. Marysville's top batting average player, Tegan Jung hitting .351. In the last 2 weeks, he's also poured on 2 home runs. He's tied for the league lead in home runs in the Pioneer Valley League. Israel Cortez and Houston Rodney over in Wheatland hitting .340, .341, and .340 respectively. Chevy Zakharopoulos in Marysville hitting .333. Austin Jacobs, Joe Harden also bringing it on in terms of their batting average. So Marysville scuffled a little bit, but they got ball players that can, again, tattoo the snot out of the ball. And Wheatland is not missing a step either. We left off with Houston Rodney hitting .341. You got Chase Barton at .333, Jordan James at .327, and Cole Rollader is hitting .267. So those guys over there are absolutely getting it done.
I do want to mention we had Tegan on the air. He was involved in the Buckeye. But he told me, he said he plays baseball and basketball. Yeah. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. You had to be a fan of Bo Jackson.
Yes.
You know, and it was like, who does that? Very few players can do that, right? He played baseball and football, but it's like I just think it's awesome, and especially with high school guys, because they can, right, for one thing, but when they actually do it, they play more than one sport. So kudos to Teagan and everybody else over there at Marysville that's doing that, and the other schools as well.
But that's just awesome that they've got that, and I want to look in maybe for our next show, see what's going on with the track season over there, to see what's headed over in Marysville and Yuba City. But back to baseball, the two other schools that really deserve a shout out: Sutter High School and Yuba City High School. Let's talk about Sutter High School. So Sutter High right now is in the Golden Empire League. They sort of have a lock on third place. 2 weeks ago they were in third place. They're still in third place, trailing Woodland and Rio Linda. They're 7-4 on the season in league play, 14-4 overall.
Wow!
So they're 14-4 overall. Woodland overall is 13-4, and Rio Linda is 8-9-1. But that's overall. In league play, Woodland is 9-0, Rio Linda is 6-3, Sutter is 7-4. Sutter was 6-3 the last time we were here, and if you take a look at Sutter, they played down in San Diego. They had a little tournament that they were playing in down there, so that's why they have some more wins in the season, because they were in that out-of-conference tournament. But listen to this in terms of their ball players: top 50 in the Golden Empire League, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They've got 11 ball players in the top 50 playing out there in Sutter for the Huskies. Aiden Zwizik, right-handed pitcher / outfielder. He's hitting 467. By the way, that's down to 467. And not a small sample size. He's got 43 plate appearances, 30 at-bats on the season. So he's taking some walks and doing things. But he's hitting 467. Cole Callison, 411. Jace Cummins, 370. And Blake Agger is at 333. Those three ball players in the top 20, their batting averages have dipped to that. But then you've got Carter Johnson and Landon Singh, whose batting averages are on the rise at 333 and 310, respectively. Aiden Roche is hitting 325. Blake Boyer is hitting 276, and Dalen Duncan 255. Those guys are they're knocking the cover off the ball, and they're in third place. They're primed to make a playoff run and a push there, and they're having a great season out there in Sutter. Then we look to Yuba City. Yuba City, we have two teams in Yuba City, two high schools, Yuba City High School and River Valley. And River Valley's scuffling. They're in seventh place, last place in the Foothill Valley League. They got a 2-game losing streak. They're 1-11 in league play on the year, 4-14 overall.
So it would be totally inappropriate for us to say anything about Rob.
No, yeah,
I would not mention.
Rob McMains.
I'm not going to mention him. Not going to say anything about that.
Rob's going to find me in the back alley with a lead pipe.
Hey, Rob, we appreciate you. We know you're working hard, right?
Yeah, and look, whatever the record is, if there's a guy who's going to make those kids play hard and coach them, start to finish, regardless of the record, and be there to encourage them, it's going to be Coach McMahon. Yeah. So that's just the way Rob is. Yuba City High School, they were scuffling a little bit early on, but they have really brought it on in the last, 2, 3, 4 weeks. They're in fourth place. They're 6-3 in league play. They're 8-9 overall. They have they won their last game, but when you look at the stats for Yuba City High School, Brody Miller hitting 471.
Wow.
Okay, 471. Josh Del Pogetto is hitting 364. Max Guth hitting 354. Now, Max Guth, last year, the Yuba City High School ended up winning, I think, their sectional games going into the championship game, and they won on a hit-by-pitch. Max Guth was the one that got hit.
Oh.
But he can also swing a mean bat, plays great second base, and he's hitting 354, and he's up to 354. These batting averages of 471, 364, 354 are all batting averages that are on the rise. Ivan Perez hitting 316. on the rise to 316. Wyatt Lane hitting 295. Emilio Ramirez, 273. Again, all of those are on the rise. And even though they're scuffling over at River Valley, you've got Garen Dill hitting 400 on the season. And again, that's not a small sample size. He has 58 plate appearances, 45 of those are at-bats, and he's getting a hit 40% of the time. And, just getting it done over there. Gonzalo Tavares hitting 312. Alfonso Lopez hitting 270. Matthew Martin 227. And that's kind of what's going on with baseball here in the Yuba Sutter area. We're winding up towards the end of the season, and that's one of those things where hitting is one of the hardest things to do in all sports, is to be able to hit that ball, and it takes time to get your timing down. And the Yuba City Bats are really coming around. Sutter's just really coming around, and they're getting it done. And I think everybody would love to have Gabe Jara on their team, and his 700 batting average is unbelievable, just absolutely unbelievable. So that is a quick recap and update of the local scene this next week. Just take a quick look at Yuba City High School, see what they got coming up here. They play Del Campo on the 13th. They play at Yuba City, and then they go down to Del Campo. So it's 3 games against Del Campo, 1 here, 1 there, and 1 back here on the 13th, 15th, and 17th, respectively. That's the Yuba City Honkers schedule. Take a look at Sutter High School, see what they're doing next week. You like that little, shuffling there? Rush Limbaugh used to do that. That's shuffling. Our next.
I don't think he ever did baseball,
No,
though.
he didn't. He didn't. What are we at here? Today's the 11th, so we missed that one. So they're playing Rio Linda. Yeah, Sutter High School has the same thing there, but they're doing it with Rio Linda. Same thing as Yuba City High School with Del Campo. They play 1 at Sutter, then they go to Rio Linda, and then actually they play 2. I got that backwards. They play 1 at Rio Linda, and then they play the next 2 games on the 15th and the 17th at Sutter High School. I'm sure Rio Linda's going to be able to go home in between those 2 games, but since they're on different days and they still do have class. But that's the upcoming schedule for Sutter High School playing at Rio Linda. We'll go ahead and round this out, give you Marysville, see what they're doing next week. Marysville next week has Oakmont on the 15th at home, then Oakmont at Oakmont on the 17th. And why don't we wrap it up here with what Wheatland is doing. Wheatland next week. Oh, they're hitting the road. They're going to Orland. That's going to be a hike. So they're going to play Orland on the 13th, playing River City over in West Sacramento on the 16th. And then they go actually, they're playing River City here. Oh, it's not a hike. Orland and River City are coming here to play Wheatland at Wheatland High School, and then they hit the road to go to El Dorado County, play in Placerville. They're playing El Dorado High on the 18th, and that's what's going on for the local high school baseball players. And if you hit that, you watch that, that's going to get you primed to come right back and watch some Freebirds baseball starting on the 19th of May.
So I just want to tell you, folks, I know that there's probably stuff we're not covering that maybe you want us to cover. And, predominantly we've been doing baseball, but, we've done some basketball. But it's like if you like to give a shout out to somebody and, we're willing to do that. Or if you'd like, your coach to be on the air with Todd, we can do that. All you got to do is just drop us a line. What's it called? Drop a line.
Drop a line, yeah.
Yeah, at info, I-N-F-O, at 93qradio.com. Easy breezy, info at 93qradio.com. We will make sure that Todd gets that, and then we'll try to make that happen so that, players like, I'd like to get, Mr. 700 in here.
Oh, yeah, no kidding.
So, but next week, you're going to have Harrison Shapiro be on because we're trying to stay up with all the changes that are being made with the Freebirds. Somebody had come to me and said they had bought a ton of High Wheelers gear, and they were thinking, what can I do? I asked Harrison about it. They're going to give a significant discount. and do a swap
great.
of thing so that they can get new gear, and because they understand. And so this will be really good, and I'm excited about it. Stick a feather in your cap.
But yeah, definitely
and call it the Freebird hat.
That's right. Definitely want to go ahead and again, to echo what Fish said there, if you got somebody you want to have featured on the show, because that's what this show is about. It's to give the recognition to the local ball players and sports figures, to give them the recognition that's due. I think the Appeal Democrat does a great job covering local sports.
Yes.
There's some other independent folks that cover local
Jeff
sports.
Larson, just want to give Jeff a shout out.
The stuff that he writes over at the Appeal Democrat, it's insightful. It comes in, kind of gives you the backstory, lets you know what's going on with the ball players, and we want to go ahead and be able to continue in that vein to give recognition where it's deserved. So with that, Bob, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Call it a day. Thanks for joining us here on the Weekend Sports Update here, sponsored by the Yuba Sutter Freebirds. Go to freebirdsbaseball.com for more information. And with that, we will look to see you next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.